What's up everyone, it's Foxxy here, and today I'm going to be reviewing EA Sports UFC. It was released for the PS4 and the Xbox One on June 17th of 2014. And if I understand this correctly, this is the first UFC game that EA has made since they bought out THQ, who were the guys who used to previously make them. So before we talk about anything in specific, let's take a quick look at the game modes. You have Fight Now, or Exhibition, Career Mode, Challenges, which is very uninteresting, it's not even worth talking about, and lastly, the Online. So really, there isn't much to choose from in the mode department, even more so when you go and take a look at the Fight Now match settings and see how minimal those are. You have difficulty, the amount of rounds, length of said rounds, and venue. I think the venue option is a little stupid because they don't even give you a preview of whatever arena you have selected. Showing a preview of an arena in fighting games is something that's been very popular since like fucking Super Nintendo. And I know I'm probably being a little nitpicky, but still, I kind of find it a little irritating. Next, let's talk about the career mode. Well, I don't want to say I hated it, but I'm not going to say I thought it was great or anything. I would lean more towards mediocre, and the reason for this is because there really wasn't anything interesting going on. You start off as a novice taking part in Ultimate Fighter, and you work your way up to UFC, winning and defending championships. In a nutshell, that's all it is. Before each match, you can do a set of 3 training exercises you can take part in. The benefit from doing these allows you with more evolution points for upgrading your fighter's skills, or for buying new moves. You also get these points for fighting in actual matches, however the points you get for training are very minimal compared to the fights themselves. During your career, you're shown a ton of montages of real fights, none of which I'm going to show you just in case UFC or whoever tries to come after me with some stupid copyright claim. And the story itself doesn't have any cutscenes per se, but what they did instead is they used live footage of either the fighters or Dana White, and they talked to you about your fights and other shit I skipped over because, again, this stuff is not interesting at all, and most of the things being said are flat out pointless. I don't know, I might just be in the minority here, but I don't like seeing live camera shit in my games. A lot of the time, I think it just comes off as lazy, because all you need to do is memorize lines and put a camera in front of whoever is speaking. Some of the guys, by the way, were ungodly horrible at delivering their lines. Like this dude, for example.
Man, I'm so happy for you. Everything we worked on in training came out in the fight. I couldn't be happy for you. Alright, I'll see you next time, buddy.
No emotion, completely monotone, and like I said earlier, absolutely pointless. The graphics in general are great. The cutscenes where the fighters walk out to the ring and after the match is over look spectacular. The attention to detail is definitely there, and I'm very happy with how the cutscenes look. I just wish there were more of them to watch. In-game looks nowhere near as good, but that's to be expected. The animations are for the most part very smooth, and I say that because sometimes for whatever reason the frame rate will drop or skip every now and then during a match. I think it happens, I want to say once or twice every handful of matches or so. I don't know why it happens or if this is a problem with the Xbox One's version of the game as well, but it is kind of annoying. The gameplay of EA's UFC is fantastic. The controls are incredibly simple so that people who have never played this type of game before can easily get the hang of it, whether it be by doing the tutorials or skipping them and going into a Fight Now match right away, like I did. I guess the only thing I didn't really care for with the controls is when fighting on the ground or in the clinch. It could just be me, but sometimes I feel like the controls don't respond as well in these situations. Like for example, I personally hate fighting on the ground, so I always press L3 to get up. Sometimes it takes like 4 to 5 presses for something to happen, then other times it responds right away. I originally thought maybe it's because my stamina was low and my character just didn't have the energy to get up, but no, I don't believe that is the case. Not a big deal for me, but if someone enjoys a lot of ground game, they might get a little disappointed by this. Each fighter has their own stats, movesets, and special abilities that make them all fairly unique. The abilities are like boosters that give you a little advantage over your opponent. For example, the ability Heavy Handed increases damage from fists and elbows, and the ability Pushing the Pace makes your opponent regenerate stamina slower while in the clinch. There's more than 30 abilities total, and each fighter has a max of 5 that they can have. You can also create your own character with his own unique movesets, abilities, and whatever else you want. The problem with it though is that it's very typical for these kinds of games. It's not super detailed or anything, it seems to give you the bare minimum of what a create a character type thing would be like. And that could be good or bad depending on how much time you put forth into making your character.
He seems to have recovered. He was hurt bad, but he seems all right now. Oh, that's a big left. How good was that? He lands a big head kick. These guys are trading strikes here. Oh, that hook did damage. Clean spinning back fist. Whoa!
What I think I like most is even if I have a character with low stats compared to whoever I'm fighting, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm at a disadvantage. As long as I play smart by avoiding being taken down, blocking and countering his moves, I can still knock his ass out within a matter of seconds easily. Compared to other games like this that I've played, I think EA's UFC is more about the skill of the individual player and not so much about the stats of the characters the players are using. I did play a little bit of the online and found it to be very easy and quick to get into. You pick your weight class and fighter and there you go, you'll be put right into a match. By the way, I didn't mention earlier, there is more than enough fighters to choose from, including Bruce Lee, if you either bought the DLC or pre-ordered the game. I myself only played 3 matches, not counting the one where the power went out mid-game, but from what I can take from the games I did play, there were a couple lag spikes from time to time, but the matches in general played very smoothly. I feel like I had a better connection playing this than I do with shooters like Killzone, Call of Duty, or Battlefield. So basically, if you're into online fighting, then this will keep you busy for a while. However, if you're like me and this is not your sort of thing, then you probably won't touch it much at all, if ever.
Powerful takedowns. Whoa! And it is over! Wow! BJ Penn wins by knockout. Gigantic hook that got him the win.
Alright, so my final thoughts on EA's UFC are fairly mixed. The lack of game modes plus the less than stellar campaign are a disappointment to say the least. And the only thing that really saved this game from being a total waste of $60 for me was the gameplay. I've seen people bitch and moan about it not being realistic with the balancing or whatever, but I don't know, honestly I didn't really care whether or not the game was super realistic or anything. I just went into it wanting to get enjoyment out of it, which in fact I did. If you're into UFC or MMA games, then I would definitely recommend at the very least playing the demo to see how you like the gameplay before going out and buying it. It's not a game I could see myself playing on a regular basis. However, it is one that I know if I do decide to play, especially when a friend or family member is over, I know I'm going to have a good time.